Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motor Chaos. It's your host, Dave. I got online special guest, Brian Hope, crew chief of the Rat Trap, Nitro Fuel Altered, and part-time driver when his dad's not available. And you also drive the Pure Hell Fuel Altered, correct?
That is correct.
For Rich Quasco.
Yep.
So let me ask you first question, Brian. How did it all begin for you to get into drag racing? Was it your dad's fault?
All right. So yeah, I grew up in Southern California, and when I was young, and Dad was a drag racer. We traveled around going to Riverside, Orange County every Saturday night, Irwindale, Ontario Motor Speedway, and went to the Winter Nationals, and then when the World Finals went back to Pomona, grew up going to those racetracks, and just kind of been a drag racing fan my whole life.
So what year did you jump behind the wheel of a car and start drag racing?
So I've only been driving for a short period of time, the last 5 or 6 years, and when we built the replica Rat Trap, my job was to work on it because Dad was driving, and if I wanted to be involved, then I worked on it. So, learned a lot from Don Green and some others helped me along the way, and just kept took over tuning duties, and then one day we were over in England at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Rich had asked me if I'd be interested in driving Pure Hill, and when Rich Quasco asks you to drive a car, you don't tell him no.
So now, did you have to get licensed when you're out there?
Yeah, I didn't have a license, and so I went. My first thing I did is go down to Frank Hawley and took some courses, and then jumped right in the seat of Rich's car.
So what was the experience like for the first time jumping behind the wheel of Pure Hell?
It's there's a lot to learn driving a fuel altered, and I'm still learning. I guess you always got to be learning when you're driving a race car, but Rich's car is a good car. It's you got to always have a respect for it. But that car moves hard. Rich always knows how to get the most out of it.
Now, is there any difference for you driving the Pure Hell and the Rat Trap?
Oh yeah, those cars are very much different. They're both short cars, 105-inch cars, and from my experience with Rich and being with Rich, I've learned a lot on the tune-up. So, tune-up-wise, they're a lot similar, but the chassis are so different and they drive so much different. It's night and day, the difference between the two cars.
So now, since you've been driving the Pure Hell, how many times have you lined up with your dad with the Rat Trap, against him?
I think we're at 14 or 15 times right now.
So yeah. Who's got the majority of the wins?
I got the majority. I think I'm up by 2.
Yeah.
It's really close, and it's tough to race against Dad, and it took us a long time to learn to race against each other, and because we had done it together as driver and crew chief for so long, it took some getting used to lining up against him for both of us.
Now you guys are okay though?
Yeah, we do all right.
It's gotta be nice though to be on the starting line with your dad and see him again at the end of the track.
Yeah, it's neat to race against your heroes. I get to drive for Rich, but to race against Mike Boyd and Randy Bradford and those guys, it's kind of neat. Not a lot of guys get to race their heroes, especially racing Dad.
Right.
So
So who would you say are all your big influences in drag racing then?
Well, of course, my dad was a huge influence. Um, but Dave Huff and Randy Bradford, those are two guys that really helped me out a lot when I was learning to tune and we were traveling. Uh, you know, um, there's a lot of people in the big show that have really gone out of their way to help me out. Mike Lewis at Don Schumacher Racing, James Riola at Coletta, Sean Dill at Waterman. Those guys always are willing to help when I got a question or when I got a problem. They never hesitate to text me back or call me back or do whatever they can to help me out. It's good to have friends like that.
Yeah, definitely. So how many years you been driving for Rich Guasco now?
I think this is the fifth or sixth year. It's hard to keep track of how many it's been.
So then, with the Pure Hell, what's been the quickest ET you've had in that car?
So run a 592 in that car. Yeah.
What's the fastest time the Rat Trap has had with either you or your dad in it?
So I've tuned that to a 635 in the Rat Trap, and that was a couple years ago at the Hot Rod Reunion racing Randy Bradford. And we got some quicker ETs in it, and we'll find them here soon. That car's a little bit different than other cars. It's a direct drive car, so it doesn't it doesn't have the advantage of a 2-speed, but we're working on some things. We'll get some better ETs out of it, but 635 is pretty respectable out of a 105-inch car.
So you're working on that car. You're working in that car now for this season.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was at the shop last night working on it, getting ready. Our first event is we were invited to the Concours d'Elegance car show type thing at Amelia Island, and then we'll go down and run at the 50th anniversary of the Gator Nationals.
So no March meet.
No March meet.
How many events you got scheduled besides those two this year? You got any more coming up?
I think we got 10 events scheduled this year. Our schedule's on the website on rattrapracing.com, and so we're just trying to get it all nailed down. But I think we got 10 events scheduled for this year.
Are you gonna be going to Hot Rod Reunion?
Oh, absolutely, the Hot Rod Reunion.
Yeah. So everyone keeps telling me I need to get up there to Famoso one these days. If
it's definitely a must.
You love Nitro, you got to get up there and experience it at least once, right?
There's two events that we absolutely look forward to three events: the Hot Rod Reunion and Bowling Green, because it's close to home for us, and all our friends and family can come up and enjoy the weekend. And of course, Speed Week at Bonneville, and then we finish off the year at the Hot Rod Reunion.
So let's talk about Rat Trap Racing. You got a big family of racers there. What? Tell me all about it.
So, Dad drives, of course. My wife takes care of all the apparel and making sure that we got a place to stay and a way to get there and a way to get home and rent cars to drive while we're there. And then just this year, my son graduated high school, and now he's traveling to all events and working on the car. He's also helping out Bobby Hilton on the Great Expectations car, and he works on Tony Lombardi's 7.0 Pro car. So, kid's getting a lot of experience taking stuff apart, putting it back together, and then of course I keep him tied up in the shop every chance I get to help me.
But don't you guys got some other cars in Rat Trap Racing too that like your other family members drive?
Yeah, so um, we actually have 3 Rat Trap cars. We have the original remake car, and then we have the car that we race around the states, and then we have a car that we ship overseas that is actually scheduled to go to Australia this year. But we actually have 4 Lance Peep cars that we run out of Rat Trap Racing, and so both Dad and I set records at Bonneville this year in our roadsters at Bonneville, and then Jared Teepin, who drives my uncle's Dodge, continues to set records on the lake bed at El Mirage, and we take it to Bonneville, and they're knocking on the door of setting records there. And then we got a car that we built for my mother to drive, and my sisters take turns in it, and Mom's taking some time out of driving for a little bit, but we're just it's a big family affair. I got 5 sisters, so there's not a shortage of people to push a pedal.
Man, that's got to be awesome to have all the family in the drag racing like that, huh, Brian?
Yeah, it's neat. My daughter holds a record at Bonneville. I hold a record at Bonneville. My dad holds a record at Bonneville. This year, we're going to put my son in the car at Bonneville and get him acclimated to what's going on. I don't know that we'll attempt to go after any records when he's fresh, but we'll get him primed up to go after some record runs. So there's a lot going on all the time.
So that Australia trip, that's the same one that Randy's going on, right? Randy Bradford?
That is the trip.
Yeah, I had him on the other night. He was talking about that. He's all excited.
Yeah, it's good. We're fortunate that we get to travel all over the world with Randy and Rich and Dave and Leon's been with us, and it's just an incredible group of guys that we're very fortunate to get to spend a lot of time with.
Yeah. So now, when the Rat Trap goes out, besides you being a crew chief when your dad's driving, who are the other crew members?
So my son, of course, takes over the starting duties and all that when I'm not available to be out in front of the car. And my dad's younger brother, Steve, who has a hot rod shop in Whittier, California. Steve travels out and helps us out. And then we have a really close family friend, Jim Alvaney. And Jim goes to Bonneville with us and a lot of Rat Trap events. And then we kind of got truck driver, helper extraordinaire, Junior. And Junior drives the truck, helps out at the shop, runs errands, helps work on the car. He does a little bit of everything, whatever needs to be done. Junior's there to help out.
So now, when dad's not available to drive, and you take over the driver's seat, do you crew chief and drive, or you got another person that crew chiefs?
No, I tune it when I'm driving, but Michael steps in and does the starting duties and kind of fills in on all the stuff that I'm not available to do.
Now, do you guys have any sponsors for the Rat Trap?
Well, SC Gaskets, who is a huge supporter of ours, Lucas Oil. Lucas takes care of us worldwide. Anywhere we go, they make sure that we're taken care of. We have a relationship with VP Fuels, ARP Fasteners, Holly. I'm forgetting somebody, but trying to get them all. Hot Heads. We're associated with a lot of companies that take really good care of us and appreciate what we do for them, and absolutely we appreciate what they do for us.
So how much percentage nitro you guys run with that Rat Trap car?
So I try and keep it around 90%. When the air's really good, I back it up a little bit, but we try and always run 90% everywhere we go.
All right. So Now, when you well, say you're just imagine you're gonna drive this weekend, for a race. What goes into preparation? What would you have to do to prepare to get that fuel altered ready for a weekend of racing?
So, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. We do a lot of maintenance on the car to make sure that it's safe, make sure we're not hurting parts, make sure that the truck and the trailer are equipped and maintained. It can be a full-time job every day. There's always something to do, whether it's filling up fuel jugs in the trailer, making sure that we got consumables in there, spark plugs, oil, gaskets, and making sure everybody's travel is scheduled, making sure everybody knows when their travel is scheduled, what day they're going to get there, who they're staying with in a hotel. There's a lot of things that go on from day to day to make that happen.
Now, with the Pure Hell, do you got to do a lot of work on it, or you just kind of show up and drive for Rich?
Nope. Rich only lets me push the pedal over there. I'm not allowed to do any work on the car. I just sit in the seat and push the pedal. And it's Rich is very respectful of my responsibilities with Dad's car, and keeps me focused on what I'm supposed to be doing at the races and not worrying about working on the car.
All right. Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
So, DJ Safety is a big supporter of ours on the Rat Trap. In Riches, we have Dennis Taylor. So, it's a little bit of different stuff depending on what we're driving.
Now, do you prefer quarter mile or eighth mile?
Oh, I prefer quarter mile. Drag racing is a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, that's the way it's always been. But sometimes eighth miles kind of saves on wear and tear. But then again, everyone says that once you're approaching the eighth mile mark, that's about where you want your speed's gonna start going. So.
Yeah, our cars are approaching 200 miles an hour in the eighth. Rich's car we run 198 in the eighth. Dad's car we run 197 in the eighth. So 200 miles an hour, no matter where you're at, it's fast. But it's just like that second half just to finish the ride.
Yeah. So now for you, for the short time you've been driving, have you reached any milestones?
I've gone 592. One of my personal goals was to run a 5, and we got to run a 592. I've been 244 in Rich's car. I've been 248 in my Bonneville car. I'd like to go 250. But the first Rich's car is the first car I ever really drove. I was always working on cars. I was never a driver until I started driving Rich's car. So, all of my accomplishments pretty much have come in Rich's car.
Now, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all?
Nope. I'll just get in the car and drive. There's no worries, no superstitions, no rituals. Just get in and do what I got to do.
Now, growing up around drag racing all these years with your dad, have you been able to meet a lot of different drivers throughout all these years?
Well, I race with a fairly small group of guys, and you win some, you lose some. Lining up against Kyle Huff, Vince General, and Brian Hall, and Randy Bradford. You can't win all the time, but I like to try and hold my own against those guys.
Now, since you've been driving, have you had any accidents or close calls yet?
No, I try and when you drive somebody else's stuff, you have to be very respectful and try not to overdrive it and not get in over my head. So you know, there's always the possibility that something can happen, and you got to respect that. But I try and err on the side of caution to try and keep everything together. It's not my car. It's not my equipment.
So now with the little group of theater guys that you race with, do you have a greatest competitor of all of them, or they're all equally competitive for you?
Well, you know, every time you line up against somebody, it's a competition, regardless of who's, and you never take anybody lightly. Any one of us can get there first anytime we get down the drag strip, and you know it's a big family. We all get together, but when those helmets go on, it's a competition, and you know I don't take anybody lightly. I wouldn't say that there's a bigger competitor than anybody else.
Now, have you won any trophies or plaques or anything yet?
Hey, you know, I won. We just won the Hot Rod Reunion in last October in Rich's car. We won the Hot Rod Reunion with Dad's car in June on his 74th birthday. So, you know, we won the New England Hot Rod Reunion. We've taken some events home, but you know, it's nothing like nothing like winning a national event or something. You know, we've got 6 Ironmen from Nitro Jam events with Dad's car. So you know, those were accomplishments, but you know, we unfortunately we don't get a chance to win national event Wallies and stuff like that.
So now, after all these years of working on cars, what keeps you passionate about doing this for all the years?
Oh, no doubt, I get to do it with my dad. And, you know, first I get to do it with my dad. Second, I get to do it with guys like Rich Guasco. You know, those guys are heroes of mine, and as long as they want to do it, I'll keep doing it. They keep me motivated. They keep me moving. And I just try and keep up with them.
All right, now I'm going to ask you a few fun questions here, Brian. Now, outside of drag racing, do you have any hobbies?
Other than work, you know, I enjoy photography when I get the chance.
So what do you like to take pictures of?
I got into photography when my daughter was playing softball. And so, you know, I took a lot of sports photography when she was playing ball. Since she is not playing college ball anymore, I really don't get a chance to take a lot of pictures. But probably action stuff. Yeah, I'd love to take pictures of the racetrack, but, you know, I'm always running the car, so I really haven't had a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, when you said action, I was just about to say you'd probably be good at drag race pictures.
Yeah.
Catching all the great moments.
Yeah.
So now, if you could do time traveling, Brian, and go backwards in time, would you do anything differently in the drag racing career?
No, I don't think so. You know, I learned a lot from the right guys at the right time, and I've been very, very fortunate with the opportunities that I've had in drag racing, and I don't think I'd change anything about it.
All right, now here's a easy question for you to answer. What's your favorite food you like to eat?
Probably Italian.
Now Italian. Do you have a favorite Italian dish?
No, probably lasagna, maybe.
All right. Now, what would be your favorite beverage of choice?
Dr. Pepper.
Now, do you drink alcohol?
Not really.
But if you do, what do you drink?
That I don't drink, but generally don't drink.
If you do have a drink, like on a special occasion, what do you like to drink?
Oh, I wouldn't even have any idea.
All right. All right. Now, do you watch movies at all?
No, I don't get a lot of time to watch TV.
But do you have a favorite movie? You know, of all time throughout your life, do you have a favorite
Oh
movie?
yeah, The Shawshank Redemption probably my all-time favorite movie.
All right. Now, what would you say would be your favorite music?
I'm probably into rock music.
Yeah, like classic rock,
No, probably more of a hard rock.
heavy metal, hard rock.
Yeah.
So you like AC/DC stuff like that, or harder, like Metallica?
Yeah, probably harder than that.
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica, Disturbed.
Megadeth.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Now, when you were young, Brian, did you have a favorite cartoon growing up?
No, not really. My generation, we played outside a lot.
All right. Now, okay. Now, can you think of one most embarrassing moment you had at the track?
Oh, yeah. I like to tell the story about the first time we were going to a national event with the Rat Trap, and we ran Atlanta. And so my job was to move the truck after we started the car. So, I'm real excited. I was really young. I was 24 years old. And car starts and goes to do the burnout. I throw the old truck down in E for drag and mat it to pull it over to the side. And there's all kinds of officials waving at me, and I'm telling them to get out of the way. Well, what I had done is I'd emptied the back of the truck all over the starting line. And there were starters and batteries and tools laying all over it. And they were trying to get my attention. I'm trying to get them out of the way because I got a job to do. I got to move this truck.
Right.
And so, that was pretty embarrassing. But,
Wow.
yeah.
Now, if you weren't working on, fuel alters and driving them, what do you think you'd be doing with your life if you weren't doing this?
I'd be working in this shop every day. My wife and I own a cabinet business. We build aluminum cabinets for race car trailers and workshops, all kinds of industrial applications, and I'd be here every day.
Now, how important do you think it is for kids to come out and watch drag racing in this day and age?
Oh, if we don't get kids out, then we won't have a future.
Now, when the kids come out to the pits for like the Rat Trap or Pier Hill, you guys put them in the seat?
It depends on what we're doing and, what kind of time we have. And, but with the Rat Trap, we got coloring books we give to the kids. We got try and give them a sticker if we have some stickers, or get real interactive with the kids. Try and get them interested, want them to come back.
Yeah, that's good. Like you said, they are the future of drag racing.
Yeah, they are the future of everything.
If like I keep telling everybody in these interviews, if you tear most of these kids away from video games and take them to a drag race, maybe they'll have a big interest in drag racing. You never know.
Yeah.
But their mind's so stuck on playing video games every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, when we were younger, we'd go out and play all the time. We didn't have video games and on cell phones. We'd be playing. Like me, I'd be going out till dinner. My mom would call me in for dinner. Then I'd go back out and play a little bit again till it gets dark, and come back in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why back in the day, the kids had more interest to work on cars too, because you didn't have all this modern technology. So they get behind the wrench. And
it was a different time for us than what these kids have. But my son's got a project car, my daughter's got a project car. I don't. They're plenty interested in the sport and in the culture. So, it's I don't know. I guess it was easy for them to get involved because they had all the tools available to them.
That's a good thing. You got any grandkids yet?
Yeah. Oh, not yet. No.
Yeah. Well, one of these days, probably, then the grandkids will probably get into drag racing, too.
If I got anything to do with it, they will be.
Maybe buy them a junior dragster, get them started with one of them. There's so many junior dragsters. That's another good thing with the kids. A lot of junior dragsters out there.
Yep.
Those are the future, too. It could be next John Force, Courtney Force, whoever.
Yep.
So now, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your drag racing career so far?
Well, I've been so fortunate to have a lot of opportunities. I've got to race against my dad at Santa Pod in England. I've driven Dad's car at Mary in New Zealand. I've driven Dad's car in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in Canada. We've been to the Goodwood Festival of Speed. We've been invited to the Norwalk Night Under Fire. There's just so many opportunities that I've had that I've been fortunate enough to do. So to narrow it down, I'm not sure that I can narrow it down to one experience.
All right, now, if people that are listening into this interview right now want to see where you'll be racing at with either of the two Fuel Altereds, what's the best way to find schedules?
Probably check on our Facebook page at Rat Trap Racing or Pure Hell, and check on rattrapracing.com.
Yeah, I did put the link for the Pure Hell, like page in the event, and I believe I put the Rat Trap. Well, you got a Rat Trap like page too, or just a group page for the Rat Trap?
There is a like page, yeah.
I put both of them in the event. If anyone's was on the event page, both of those links are in there to go to those pages if you want to find them. And then there's a group page too. You can request to join that group page too. The group page does that keep? That doesn't keep up to
not
right?
a lot going on in the group, but the like page is probably the best place for information.
Yeah, I noticed the dates and years on the group page aren't very updated.
Yeah.
But I did post the link for people to listen to this interview on there anyway. So, well, anyway, Brian, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview today.
Good deal.
And I wish you the best of luck with the 2019 season this year.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. We'll do another one in the future.
Sounds good.
You have a great night, Brian.
You too.
Bye-bye.